So we're at the University of East Anglia and we have just come to the Sainsbury Centre of Art. Never been to Norwich?
No.
Checked around. I thought,
The end of the line, Norwich.
Yeah. Is it? So I thought this is quite nice. Tell me about the building.
So the building is Norman Foster's first public building. Norman Foster is the most prominent British architect today, alive today. He's about 80. Probably more.
No, never heard of him. But
never heard of him?
No.
Right. So Norman Foster, very much a part of the high-tech building style. So that's steel, glass, and this building was built in 1974. It was commissioned by Robert and Lisa Sainsbury, who wanted to give their collection to a university. They realised that if their collection was to stay in one piece, which they very much wanted it to, they were going to have to provide a building as well. So if it had gone to Cambridge, the ethnographic pieces would have been in the Archaeology Museum and the modern works would have been in the Fitzwilliam. So they knew somebody who knew the Vice-Chancellor, the Chancellor here. They were offered the site. They then researched a suitable architect and they commissioned Norman Foster, who'd done one large building. You really, really do need to look him up.
And these pieces are done by various artists?
These are all artists. None of them, not all of them are named because they are ethnographic pieces. They've come from all over the world and they were never made as art, but they were of significance to their culture. But there's a lot of intermingled modern and contemporary work that is named for the artist.
And for example, this one here, I see just a bit of writing on the side. If I want to know where this came from and what was the purpose around
the
it.
caption will tell you where it came from, but that's about all. This is called a fisherman's god, and it was rescued by British missionaries when they were proselytizing in the islands around Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, all the way around there. And actually, the people of these island nations were actually quite willing to give up their original pantheistic beliefs and gave away their replicas of their gods. So this fisherman's god would have been on the front of a boat, and it would have been very significant for them in terms of their success in fishing. And they were dependent on fishing for protein. So he came back to the UK and sat in a dusty cupboard for a long time. And then in the early 20th century, ethnographic pieces became hugely important. Modern artists like Picasso, Henry Moore were collecting ethnographic work. And modern art, I don't mean contemporary, I mean modern artists realised that they didn't actually need to be realistic or naturalistic anymore because photography was doing that and film was doing that. So they were looking at these works from around the world and understanding the expressive quality, and that's how, in a way, a great deal of the expressive quality of modern work originated. Picasso collected stuff in flea markets in Paris. Henry Moore collected. If you're filming, you might want to look at the exterior of the building. Have you seen, there's one of the Marvel films is based here and uses the crescent wing, which...
Oh yes, I know. Okay.
Yeah. So that is the surface of the crescent wing just outside this window. But if you walk round, you can see it from the outside. You need to contact... I mean, I'm a volunteer here. I mean, if you want to use the building, I'm sure...
This will just be like a 20-minute tour. So I want to walk around and do this, but I will look around there as well.
Yes.
But you definitely intrigued me more by your speech, so I'm definitely going to take it more seriously.
Okay, so you will get a bit of information, but the Sainsbury's didn't want people to be reading captions. They wanted people to be looking at the work. And if you go around exhibitions, you see people constantly reading captions and not looking at the pictures or whatever. So That was their idea.
Okay.
This area is called the living area because they wanted it to be like their sitting room, which you can see there, where you just sat and looked at a piece of work.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Excellent.
Pleasure. Let me know if you need any more.
Brilliant. Thanks. So this and this, female figurines from Pakistan.